Archangel Michael says, a photograph is never just a picture. It is a window, a mirror, and a key. When your image was placed in front of the spiritual reader, a silence filled the room that felt heavier than stone. What they saw in your photo was not ordinary, and their reaction carried the weight of hidden truth. The reader's hands trembled as they tried to hold your picture still. Their voice quivered, whispering about an energy that clung to you with relentless strength. They felt the presence of someone else standing behind you, unseen by human eyes, but undeniable in its shadow. The air grew colder as they continued to stare, unable to look away. The lines of your face seemed to shift as if a story written in light was rewriting itself in front of them. Fear curled inside their chest because they realized this was no simple reading. It was a revelation. They warned that your photo carried both protection and danger. And the clash between the two was creating storms in the spirit. What frightened them most was not the darkness, but the secret force pushing against it. That resistance means heaven has already chosen you for something immense. Type Amen to get blessing. 333. They confessed that whoever brought your photo to them had motives far from innocent. This person wanted clarity, but deep down they wanted confirmation of their own suspicions. What shocked the reader was how your destiny overshadowed every ill wish placed before it. The candles in their room flickered wildly, as though refusing to stay calm in your presence. They spoke of a moment coming where the truth would tear itself free from the silence. The person who brought your picture will regret that act because light always reveals more than they intended. Even the reader whispered that forces from above had already marked you. Not in a way that harms, but in a way that demands. You are not meant to remain unnoticed, and your image has become a signal in the invisible. The reader's fear came from the glimpse of what is waiting for you. Wealth, authority, and recognition no one can stop. They said your face held the seal of breakthrough, and the timing is dangerously close. Someone thought exposing you would weaken you, but it only unveiled your power. Type Amen to get blessing. For 44. The one who carried your photo left uneasy, carrying more than they expected. Their silence after the reading is louder than their words because they know what heaven revealed is not in their control. They hoped to hear of weakness, but they were confronted with strength. At night, the reader could not shake off the vision. Your photo lingered in their thoughts, flashing with symbols that refused to disappear. They felt an angelic presence guarding your path. And even in sleep, they muttered your name. The result that frightened them was not just about danger, but about destiny. They saw betrayal, yes, but they also saw restoration. They saw the cracks in relationships around you, but they also saw new bonds forming like gold through fire. Archangel Michael says, the power in your image is undeniable. It carries more than a likeness. It carries an inheritance of divine movement. That is why the enemy shakes, because what belongs to you cannot be erased. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The reader's eyes filled with tears as they tried to explain what they saw. Your photo radiated a storm of emotions that did not belong only to you, but also to those connected to your life. They whispered that a betrayal had already been written in silence, waiting to surface in reality. The person who carried your photo thought they were hiding behind curiosity. But the spiritual forces revealed their intentions with clarity. They were not seeking your protection. They were seeking a way to weaken your foundation. What unsettled the reader most was how heaven responded. Instead of weakness, they saw doors opening for you. Doors that had been locked by invisible chains for years. They warned that nothing could stop the arrival of your breakthrough. The reader trembled because your name carries weight in realms beyond sight. They tried to fold your photo and place it aside, but it seemed to push back against their hands. They whispered that this was a sign you cannot be silenced. Type Amen to get blessing. 666. They described an aura around your image glowing brighter than fire. That glow unsettled even the shadows that tried to cling to your photo. The reader said it was a sign that angels have already taken position around you. The person who carried your photo home left with heavy silence. They did not speak of what was revealed because they feared the truth more than the lies they wanted to hear. Their plan to expose you has already collapsed under the weight of heaven's warning. At night, the reader had visions of you walking into a place filled with wealth. They said the ground itself glowed as if made of gold, and your footsteps echoed like a prophecy fulfilled. They whispered that you are about to step into ownership and recognition. The photo was meant to harm you, but it became a certificate of your destiny. It testified louder than any words could, declaring that no hand can take away what belongs to you. That is why the reader was frightened. It showed them things they were not ready to see. Type Amen to get blessing. 777. Even now, the person who brought your photo feels uneasy. Their sleep is restless, their dreams disturbed by images of you rising above them. They thought they were in control, but their spirit already knows the truth is slipping from their hands. The reader revealed that someone close is about to be exposed. Your photo carried traces of their hidden actions like fingerprints pressed into light. They cannot run from this because the unveiling has already begun. Archangel Michael says, your name has been carried into rooms you never entered. But instead of curses, it is being marked with blessings. What was spoken against you is already turning back to the sender. The fear in the reader's eyes was not about your downfall, but about the unstoppable force of your rising. They saw a time where even your enemies will have to acknowledge what heaven has written about you. That moment is close, closer than they imagined. Type Amen to get blessing 888. If you wish to express your support further, you have the option to give super thanks with contributions of up to $20. The reader could not escape the energy that clung to your photo. Even when they turned away, they felt your presence in the room, demanding to be acknowledged. They admitted that your destiny was larger than anything they had read before. The person who carried your picture thought it was just a small act. But in that moment, they unknowingly unlocked the very forces that will turn against them. The attempt to gain knowledge about you became the very proof that heaven is watching over you. The reader saw visions of hidden documents surfacing in your favor. They spoke of property, of money, of things stolen from you returning without delay. Your photo revealed chains breaking, and they trembled because it was undeniable. They could not hide the truth. You are being prepared for something massive. A door once shut by family hands will open with divine authority. That is why the reader's voice cracked. They realized the scale of what is coming. Type Amen to get blessing 999. The person who thought they would gain control by showing your photo will soon regret it. Instead of control, they have unleashed exposure. Their whispers against you will turn into their downfall. The reader described seeing a figure of light standing behind you in the photo. That figure made their heart race because it was not human but angelic. They said the protector over you cannot be removed or bribed. Even as the photo lay on the table, the light around it grew stronger. The candles bent toward your image as if drawn to its power. The reader said, "This is the sign of favor that cannot be silenced." Archangel Michael says, "Every attempt to harm you will now serve as proof of your chosen destiny." Your photo has testified on your behalf in places you have not stepped into yet. The fear they felt is the confirmation of your rising. Type Amen to get blessing. 111. The one who brought your photo is restless, hearing echoes of the reader's trembling voice. They cannot escape the thought that something greater than them has taken control. Their secret is dissolving faster than they can hold it. The reader revealed visions of people gathering in your name. Some carried envy, but many carried awe. They said, "You will walk into a season where eyes cannot look away from you." Your photo revealed movement like footsteps climbing stairs no one else could see. Every step carried authority. Every step was guarded by angels. The reader whispered that you are ascending and nothing can pull you back. The fear that gripped them was not just fear. It was reverence. They knew your story is not ordinary and to speak falsely about you would bring consequences. That is why they grew quiet, unable to continue. Type Amen to get blessing 222. They confess that your image carried a seal of restoration. What was lost is circling back to you in ways no human can block. The photo revealed hands releasing what they once held tightly. The person who carried it away thought they left in silence. But that silence is already breaking because your blessing cannot remain hidden. Their fear is that your victory will expose their betrayal. The reader saw a vision of doors slamming shut for those who rose against you. They said their plans are crumbling, their steps are collapsing beneath them. In contrast, your way is being lifted higher. The photo was meant to harm, but it became your weapon. It carried evidence of divine ownership stamped with heavenly fire. That is why the reader's hands shook uncontrollably. Type Amen to get blessing. 333. The reader's silence after placing your photo aside was heavier than thunder. They wiped sweat from their forehead as though they had carried a burden too great for human strength. What they saw was not just a reading. It was a prophecy revealed through your image. The person who gave them your photo had no idea what they had unleashed. Their curiosity opened a door that now refuses to close. They wanted answers, but they released a spiritual fire that burns beyond their control. The reader described hearing footsteps in the empty room as they stared at your picture. Every sound echoed with urgency, reminding them that heaven was near. They whispered that your photo carried an army around it, invisible but undeniable. They said, "Your destiny cannot be interrupted. What is written over your life is now in motion and nothing can hold it back." That is why the reader's hands trembled. They knew they had touched a force beyond their understanding. Tape meant to get blessing 444. The person who carried your photo is now afraid of their own decision. They thought it would weaken you, but it only exposed their plan. Their silence is proof that their scheme has already collapsed. The reader spoke of seeing chains fall from your name. They described a courtroom where your image stood and documents of injustice were torn apart. They said, "You are about to receive what was always yours." Even the air shifted when they held your picture. They said it felt like the room itself bowed as if acknowledging your authority. This is why the fear grew in their heart. They had stumbled into holy ground. Archangel Michael says, "Your image carries the mark of victory. Every weapon aimed at you will miss its target. What was spoken against you is now returning to its sender." Type Amen to get blessing 555. The reader could not deny the light they saw circling your face. It grew brighter the longer they stared, as though time itself revealed your protection. They said no shadow can erase that glow. The person who carried your photo is trying to stay calm, but their spirit is uneasy. They know heaven has already intervened and their plan is dissolving before their eyes. Every step they take is being watched. The reader saw visions of wealth being poured into your hands. They described treasures hidden in dark places suddenly breaking open. They said, "You are about to inherit more than you imagined." What terrified them most was how unstoppable your journey has become. They realized that even if every voice rose against you, your light would still dominate. This revelation was too heavy for them to carry. Type Amen to get blessing. 666. The reader confessed that your image showed enemies standing behind you but unable to touch you. Their hands stretched out but fire consumed their efforts. This is why they feared for the one who carried your photo. They saw the backlash coming. The person who dared to hand over your photo will face consequences they cannot outrun. The energy they released will return to them in ways they did not expect. Their decision has sealed their own exposure. The reader said, "Your face carried a crown unseen by ordinary eyes. It was placed there long ago, waiting for the right moment to shine. That moment is almost here, and no one can erase it." They whispered that your image has become a beacon. It is drawing favor, miracles, and restoration from every direction. The fear they felt was not for you. It was for those who tried to stand in your way. Type Amen to get blessing. 777. The photo that was meant to harm you has become your shield. It now testifies on your behalf in places you do not even know. The reader admitted they will never forget the encounter. The person who walked away with your image thought it ended there. But their nights are restless, haunted by what was revealed. They cannot shake off the vision of you rising higher than them. The reader described angels positioning themselves at your door. They said, "Perfection has already surrounded you, stronger than any plan against you." They trembled because they knew this was irreversible. Your photo carries not just your likeness, but your destiny. It speaks louder than any curse, proclaiming that you are chosen. That is why fear filled their heart. They knew heaven has already spoken. Type Amen to get blessing 888. The reader later admitted that even after you were gone, the room refused to return to normal. Your photo had stirred something so powerful that the silence itself felt alive. They said your destiny had been written into the very air and no one could erase it. The person who carried your photo cannot hide from what was revealed. Their footsteps are heavy, their mind unsettled because they now know the truth cannot be reversed. What they tried to use against you has become a mirror exposing their own weakness. The reader saw visions of doors unlocking in front of you. Golden paths stretched out like promises waiting to be fulfilled. They whispered that your name will soon be announced in places you never expected. Even the ground beneath your image seemed to glow with authority. The reader said this was not a simple blessing. It was a mantle placed upon you by heaven itself. That is why their fear was so intense. They had witnessed something divine. Type Amen to get blessing. 999. The person who brought your photo hoped for answers that would diminish you. Instead, they left with confirmation of your unstoppable rise. Their silence is not protection. It is the sound of defeat. The reader said, "Your photo revealed a great unveiling. Documents sealed in secret will soon appear in the open. Conversations whispered in the dark will become known to all." Archangel Michael says, "You have already been marked by destiny. No betrayal, no plot, no envy can overturn what heaven has written. Your image is a testimony that cannot be silenced." The reader trembled because they realized your story is not finished. It is only beginning. The person who tried to peek into your life through spiritual eyes has only confirmed your greatness. Now their fear is proof of your victory. Type Amen to get blessing 111. The photo has already spoken louder than their words. It carried your inheritance, your breakthrough, your restoration into the open. What they meant for harm has transformed into your shield. The reader described the sound of chains breaking as they looked into your image. Each chain carried a name, a moment, a betrayal, but all of them shattered before their eyes. They whispered that your freedom is now irreversible. The one who brought your photo cannot stop what has been started. Their plan has become their downfall. Their secret has become their exposure. They will watch as heaven crowns you with what they tried to take. The reader's fear was not of you, but of the power surrounding you. They knew they had witnessed a chosen one, and their spirit could not deny it. That is why their hands shook as they closed the session. Type Amen to get blessing 222. The image they thought was ordinary has become extraordinary. It is now a banner in the spiritual realm declaring your rise. Every curse has been overturned, every hidden plot exposed. The person who carried your photo will soon see the results of their choice. Their envy has backfired. Their silence has betrayed them. They cannot escape the truth that your destiny is greater. The reader said they will never forget your photo. It burned into their memory like fire, a reminder that some lives are too powerful to be hidden. They admitted they had been in the presence of destiny itself. And so the story closes with this undeniable truth. You are chosen. You are guarded. And you are rising. The photo they tried to use against you has only confirmed heaven's decree. Nothing can stop what is already unfolding for you. Type Amen to get blessing 333. The reader still speaks in whispers when they remember the moment your photo was placed before them. It was not just an image. It was alive, carrying a force that pressed against the walls of the room. They said, never in their years of practice had they felt such intensity. The person who carried your photo away is carrying fear heavier than their intentions. They thought they were clever, but their silence betrays their regret. They have stirred something beyond their reach, and now they must live with the consequences. Your photo became more than proof. It became prophecy. Every line, every shadow, every spark of light on it spoke of a story unfolding too fast to be stopped. The reader admitted they saw crowns, treasures, and protection rising around you. They trembled because they knew what it meant. Your destiny is not just protected. It is accelerating. What was delayed for years is now being rushed into your hands. That revelation was too great for them to carry quietly. Type Amen to get blessing 444. The reader said even after they tried to close the session, your photo demanded attention. It pulled at their spirit like a magnet, reminding them they had not told the full truth. They knew heaven had spoken and ignoring it would bring consequence. The one who brought your picture does not realize how much they have exposed themselves. Their own reflection is hidden inside the energy of that photo. Their betrayal marked like ink. They wanted answers about you, but they uncovered judgment about themselves. Archangel Michael says, "No hand stretched against you will prosper." Your photo has become evidence in heaven's court, proving you are chosen. This is why every attempt to harm you is already dissolving. The reader admitted their fear was not just fear. It was awe. They had witnessed something that will echo long after the photo has faded. They could not deny what was revealed. Your rise is unstoppable. Type Amen to get blessing 555. The energy around your image continues to ripple even now. It is drawing people, opportunities, and miracles toward you. The photo has become a living seal of favor. The person who carried it is restless, waking in the night with visions they cannot explain. They see your face glowing, your name being lifted, your life being restored. They know they have touched something they should never have touched. The reader's words have already begun to manifest. You will soon walk into the very things they described. Wealth released, enemies exposed, doors unlocked. This cannot be delayed any longer. Your photo has gone further than you imagine. It has testified to your greatness in unseen places. And the fear it created is only confirmation that you are marked for something mighty. Nothing can reverse this. Now type Amen to get blessing. 666. The reader's mind has not found rest since that night. Every time they close their eyes, the image of your photo appears with a glow they cannot escape. They whisper in secret that your presence is too powerful to be contained. The person who dared to bring your photo now carries a burden they cannot shake. Their silence grows heavier each day because they know the truth they tried to hide is creeping into the open. They are afraid because they feel heaven's judgment already pressing upon them. The photo was meant to expose you, but it has become the weapon that protects you. It has already testified of your strength, of your calling, and of your inheritance. The reader admitted it was not just a picture. It was a seal of divine ownership. They could not deny what they saw. Documents unlocking, chains breaking, enemies trembling. They described it as a river of restoration bursting forth, unstoppable and overwhelming. And you are the one chosen to stand in the center of it. Type Amen to get blessing 777. The reader said, your photo carried the sound of victory. Even in stillness, it thundered like drums announcing the arrival of a king. They could no longer see weakness in you, only authority. The person who carried your picture will soon see their reflection in your eyes. They will regret the day they handed your face to another, for it marked the moment their own downfall began. The energy of envy they carried has already turned back on them. The reader saw angels in formation standing behind your photo like soldiers awaiting command. Their wings stretched wide, forming a shield no darkness could penetrate. This vision made the reader's heart tremble with holy fear. Archangel Michael says, the attempts against you are finished. Your photo was not their weapon. It was heaven's testimony. Every plot is now being dismantled before your eyes. Type Amen to get blessing. 888. The one who doubted you cannot erase what has been revealed. Their dreams will haunt them until they confess the truth. The reader's words will echo until everything they saw is fulfilled. Your photo will be remembered as the turning point. The moment meant for your destruction became the hour of your elevation. This is why the reader trembled. They had witnessed a destiny too powerful to be denied. The person who brought it will soon see their plans collapse. They cannot outrun the exposure already in motion. They cannot undo the crown that has been placed upon your head. The photo has become an altar declaring your story to realms both seen and unseen. And what it declares is unshakable. You are chosen, guarded, and rising. That truth can never be erased. Type Amen to get blessing.